What's up, guys?
What's up, man? What's going on?
What up? To everyone,
What up?
I'm Fran the Savage Ladies and Men Up. We got Disinter here on our podcast with us. How's it going, guys?
Going great.
Good.
Everything's going good. Staying busy, jamming. Got a couple shows coming up.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to talk about that too. Got a few things, some fun questions I'd like to ask you to mess with you a little bit, and some questions. Tell us more about you and let us know what's going on. So, I got a video that I tried playing that we were having connection issues with, but I am going to rock it out and still play it at least from my phone and connect it. So I apologize for that.
Cool.
But before I do that, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Mike Martacci, Casey.
Mike Martacci, guitar player.
Mike Martacci, guitar player. Rhythm guitar, sometimes solos, sometimes not. All depends.
Okay, so you're not always playing with yourself.
I'm not always playing. No. Sometimes, just on Tuesday nights.
What about you, Mike?
I'm the other guitar player playing with himself on Thursday nights.
That is awesome.
All
right, so I'm gonna have to separate Mike 1 and Mike 2. Who wants to be Mike 1 and Mike 2?
I'll be Mike 2.
You'll be Mike number 2?
All right.
Yeah.
So we got Mike, Casey, and Mike. And who are we missing?
We're missing John, the bass player, John Billman, and Max, the drummer.
All right. Well, hopefully they'll be able to log in. They can pop in at any time, and it's totally cool. And it's not going to be an issue at all.
We might be punching a clown right now. We don't know.
Whatever they want to beat up, it's on them. I can respect that. That's awesome. Well, you guys, again, thank you for joining me. And I, as you can see, I am solo. Amy is on her way back from Georgia. She had a show out in Georgia, and she is on the plane. So if, the Wi-Fi, I don't know if there's Wi-Fi or if it's good up there. Marla couldn't join us either because she has her grandchildren who are apparently very, very sick, and they're young. So I told her, I'm like, as young as they are, they're going to be very demanding. And, so I told her, I said, don't worry about this. I'll handle this. You guys are watching me solo. So I apologize.
Right.
It's cool.
No, it's cool. So we're going to all be doing this together. But, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play that song so everyone can hear it and we can rock it out.
Yeah.
And the song is called, what is it?
Demolition
of the Mind. So I'm going to jam it on my phone. Yeah, maybe I can turn it towards the camera. Watch this. There we go. Oh yeah. That worked too. Dude, that was badass. That was a great fucking song.
Thanks.
It sounds better when it's not played through a phone, through the speaker.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I was
it actually reminded me of like those old demo tapes that you used to record on cassette, on a jam box or whatever, and then hit them around, So, I mean, it definitely sounds better than that when you get it on CD or whatever. But that's what it
might have sounded better if I didn't hold it up to the phone, up to the computer, because I wanted the words to be up there.
Yeah, no,
maybe cool. If I held it back a little bit, it probably would have sounded better. So, but that's a feature I'm gonna work on, and I'm gonna figure that out for next podcast.
No, I know we tried to get it sent to you, it just didn't work out.
No, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I know this is early, and I appreciate. A lot of people are out late. Last night at shows. I can relate. And, come Sunday, everyone's recovering and squeezing it in. So I'm grateful that you guys have made the time to come out for us.
Oh, well, thanks for having us.
All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that song.
Mike LeGros wrote the lyrics to it, and that was actually when I joined the band 3 years ago. That was I think one of the first songs that he had showed me to learn how, because
that was the first song I wrote the music for when Disinter joined back, 6 years ago or something.
Yeah.
One
of the first songs that I have. Mike wrote the lyrics. I wrote all the music.
And the lyrics are, from what Mike was saying, he's in obviously a no zone right now, but it was more of the migraine headaches, agonizing, headaches, where you got to bury your head in darkness because, the blinding light, destroys your mind.
Right.
And that is awesome. You know what? I thought you were going to keep going. There was a pause there.
Well, it's something that he wrote, so I don't want to go too far. I know exactly what he was thinking, but I know that was the premise, was just the extreme blinding headaches,
Right. That one was put out on a 3-song EP.
And Desecration of the Mind. That's a great name, dude. I get it.
Right on.
All right,
so everybody's had that headache before, that just where it's bad, whether it be a hangover or just regular old migraines that people get,
or just life.
Yeah,
I get that on every level. Trust me. Now, is that was that song on the old album or the one you got coming out?
No, the newer one. It was on a 3-song EP. It is on the newer one. Yeah. But that one was recorded about 3 years. What was it, 2 years ago? A couple years ago.
Let me look this up real quick.
Yeah.
So that's going to be on the Breaker of Bones album that you have coming out next year?
That one won't be.
It won't be on the Breaker of Bones.
Okay.
But here, let me pull up what's going on here.
It was released on a 3-song EP that we did a couple years ago. We recorded it with Dan Klein.
So, and we recorded 3 songs with Dan. We recorded some songs with Chris. And those songs are actually going to be on a release called Demolition. And I think that's going to be from Pest Records out of, I'm not sure whether somewhere like Europe somewhere. I can't think exactly where. Mike knows.
Yeah.
But the official release date for those songs, it'll be 6 songs, I believe, and it'll be January 26th of 2002, and that'll be released through Pest Records.
And that song was also re-recorded with Scott Creekmore, but it won't be on the new album.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you guys are signed.
I don't think it's a signing. I think it's more of just like a deal that Mike does a lot of the management.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4.
Does a lot of the management.
I was gonna say, because I didn't see that anywhere, and I was gonna say, all right, well, congratulations if that.
It's more like distributors. They just put out the CD for us, and
no, they make a good deal. You know, as far as they're doing the training and things like that. They're going to make so many copies. We'll get so many, and then you're going to release it, and that's kind of going to be that. There's no long-term deal.
Pretty much, we just get the CDs back.
Right.
And then there's going to be another. I'm just trying to read messages from Mike LeGros right now. So, but there will be another 3-song demo released from the remaining songs that we did with Scott Creekmore. So actually, in the next year, we're going to have quite a few releases. Also, the Breaker of Bones release.
I think the Breaker of Bones has got like 10 songs on it. The full CD, ain't it? 10 songs.
Right.
Yeah, on the full CD.
Right. That's the new one that's coming up, right?
That's the new one that's coming up.
Breaker of Bones, yes. Looking forward to hearing that. You guys, I know you guys have recently, you remastered several, like 4 or 5 albums.
Yeah, almost all of them.
Again, Mike LeGros has got his vision, and part of it is that when we released Breaker of Bones, it was supposed to happen before pandemic, so it was like going to be 2020 when it was supposed to be released, and that never really happened because everything shut down, and it was
As We Burn was remastered, Demonic was remastered.
So he was making a 30-year box set. So all the remastered stuff, everything that he got done is going to be in the box set that's going to be with Breaker of Bones. It's a really cool wood engraved box set with all the CDs inside of it. It comes like little shovels, and it's actually really cool. I wish I had a copy.
I think they're going for like $100 for a box set.
Yeah. So what's going to be
all the releases plus Breaker of Bones? It'll be like a 30-year celebration of Disinter.
Right. So what's going to be in the box set? You're going to have CDs, stickers, the usuals.
Yeah, Mike's been handling most of the stuff, and he's on his way back from Minnesota, so he's just in a zone right now. But
pretty much all the remastered CDs.
It'll be all the CDs that they recorded.
That is awesome.
And plus the new ones.
Well, that is awesome. I can't wait to check them out and see what they sell.
And everything will be available, I believe, individually too. I'm not sure exactly how he's got that set, but I know Breaker of Bones will be available individually, and along with more of the new recent ones.
Awesome. So you guys have been around for 30 years, huh? Who's been in the band the longest?
Mike and I been jamming together for 30 years now.
Okay,
maybe a little over.
The original members.
There's Ed Duzansky, Eddie.
Okay.
He is the original singer, Evil Ed. He's the original Disinter singer. Okay. And then there was a whole different lineup back in the day. It was Evil Ed. It was Tom Tangalos, Preston Shrewberry. Who else was it? Another guy, Judd, was on drums. That was pretty much the whole original lineup.
Yeah.
And then members just changed as it went apart. And then Preston actually passed away about 4 years ago. Phenomenal guitar player. One of the best guitar players I ever jammed with.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, brain aneurysm. Super nice guy, great guitar player. Just
oh wow.
Really down to earth going guy.
It sucks. It sucks, man. I'm sorry. Sorry for that loss.
Yeah,
it's funny, the first time when I was in high school and I was in a death metal band, thrash band called Witch's Ladder, and our first show ever up in Chicago was at Smiler Coogan's, and we opened up for Eye Gouger, which was, I guess, like a pre-Disinter almost. It had I think Mike LeGros was in it.
Pretty much. Preston was in it, Preston, Ron, Eye Gouger.
No, and it was crazy that all these many, and I played with them, opened and played for Disinter, and other bands that I've been in. But it's weird that now I'm actually jamming with them. Where before, I was just lying about my age, sneaking into shows.
We all did that at least a dozen times minimum.
Yeah, we played with Casey's old band, Emesis back in the day, Disinter, quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we,
we all knew each other.
From
jamming, in previous bands and opening shows for them and whatnot.
And that's awesome.
No, right, once I saw that they had an opening for a vocalist, I'm like, fuck it, why not? So I gave Mike Woodrow a call or an email or whatever it was, and showed up at a practice, and here I am now, 3 years later.
And it's been great ever since, right?
No, I've really enjoyed it. I like playing the old ones too, because it just brings me back to those old days.
Right, the classics now, right? The classics.
Yeah, we have so many songs, so we try to split it up. We want to do all the new ones, but there's so many old ones, and sometimes we have to relearn them and refresh on them because we're at 50, 60 songs.
30 years of music is a lot.
Yeah, 30 years of music, so pretty much,
Yeah, that's intense. You got to stay on top of everything.
Yeah.
All right, so Mike, so you've been around since the beginning then, virtually. So tell me, how has the sound changed from where the band started 30 years ago and then everywhere in between to today? How's it changed?
Oh, I mean, it's a little more melodic today, I mean, we're with the newer stuff, it's a little more grindy. But like Demonic Portrait was a little more melodic sounding. Some of the older stuff when Disinter first started was kind of like old school death metal, Obituary,
like that black,
death stuff metal, like that, and then it got a little more like I want to say At the Gates, maybe something like that, a little more melodic sounding, and now it's more of a mix between like melodic, death, thrash, a little more grindy, We try to mix it up with all the songs, so every song's not the same. Basically it's like, what you're feeling and the song you write is pretty much how it comes out is how it comes out,
Right.
I don't think there's any rules in the band today, It's like we kind of stick with the same Disinter layout and how we write the music, but there's really no rules in it. A lot of Mike's songs are more thrashy sounding.
Right.
He's a really good guitar player, a little more on the thrashy side, and Casey's got some ideas. He likes the stomp metal, so you know what I'm saying. So it the songs vary, which is good because you don't want everything to sound the same like every song.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing a killer job. Whatever he's doing it's making it happen, and you guys are backing that up real beautifully nice. I got to say that. All right, that's awesome, you guys. So. Let's see. You got quite a few. I'm going to move on from the albums.
Got a couple of shows coming up. 27th, and then November 27th, and then December 4th. Sherry over here helped me set up a killer show. She helped out with everything, organized the show, and great girl over here, and she really promoted it for us and got it out there.
Side note.
Couldn't do it without her,
On a side note, the November 27th show at Brower House, there's a male strip club thing going on in the room next door at Afterlife. So
we're here. I got a pocket full of dollars.
All right, so you're gonna lend me some money. I'll share a lap dance. But
Casey's one of the male strippers.
All right, you know what? Casey, that's beautiful. You're gonna entice the women to come out. Don't be afraid of the death metal. If anything, it'll give the guys a reason to bounce. I'm just saying.
Right.
That's awesome. Okay, so you got the show on the November 27th with Brower House, and who you guys playing with?
Extraction Point and Overlords. Is that right?
No, it's not Extraction.
Not Extraction Point. That's
Extraction Point's playing December 4th. We got Extraction December 3rd. Extraction Point for the 4th, and Beyond Death. Beyond Death.
Brower House. Hang on, I'll pull up the
Brower House. Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Yeah, pull it up right now for the Brower House.
Okay, but December 4th, so you're going to be at Livewire for December 4th.
Livewire Lounge, Extraction Point, and Beyond Death.
And that's going to be a killer show. That's awesome.
Yeah. The only 3 bands. It'll be a later show. Starts at like 9 at night.
Okay, sorry. So for November 27th, we're at the Brower House. It's Disinter, The Hated Embrace, Overlords, and Meltdown.
And that'll be a killer show. That's Gravesite Chicago.
Yes, that is a Gravesite show.
Yeah, and they are the extended. They are an extended, darker version of Rebel Radio.
And it's $10 at the door, or $10 in advance, $13 at the door. It's at 7:00. It's 21 and over. I believe it's definitely it's in the smaller room because that strip show is going on in the bigger.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's awesome. Definitely. Wish I could check out that date, but I have other plans. But I definitely plan on coming out to your December 4th show at Livewire. So
yeah, making out a big good time. Last night was a real good time. We had a lot of good bands, Maggot Factory, Crusaders. They were awesome. They definitely crushed it.
Yes, they were. I was there, as you know. So
yeah,
it was a killer night. That was awesome. I tried to do the best I could with that, and I plan on doing that for your show too. I'm going to start doing that with every show. Just going live,
awesome.
going live. More promotions. The more I can do for you guys, the better. Hence the podcast.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for. Absolutely. So, okay. That's awesome. I can't wait to see the show. You know, the shows sucks. I'm going to miss one, but it is what it is. Let's talk about the band name, Disinter. That means that means to be buried, like a perfect example.
It's to dig up a body and move it from one grave to another.
Yeah. That's kind of an intense. That's a beautifully morbid name for a band. I love it.
You do a disinter. My brother actually, he works for a cemetery, and he actually had to do a couple of disinters. Oh, yeah.
Kidding.
So is that where did you come up with the name?
I did not come up with the name. I'm pretty sure Preston and Eddie came up with the name. It's really, you say a disinter, but we just say disinter.
Yeah.
But
it's an intense name, but it's beautifully morbid. I love it. I think it's
cool. Some people decide, 20 years later they want to pull the body up and move it with the rest of the family. So
it's disinter. To basically to dig shit up,
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know that's kind of a morbid term. So, but it's
pretty much.
And I think, if you look back on a lot of the albums, what I've noticed is, they kind of keep true to that name with their albums, as Welcome to Oblivion. They had the cemetery with Oblivion Cemetery. And,
right.
Demonic Portraiture. They always kept on that eerie, dark side of metal, I would say, It
just makes sense. It all just blends in. So it makes sense. I get that.
Pretty much.
We still on the newer album, we have some songs that definitely go back to that older cemetery, graveyards or, zombies and different things. So
it's been switching off too. I mean, Cold Cell Torture is
there's
one of the songs on a new album.
There's a lot of mentally kind of songs too, where it's just like going crazy or or being like he said, Cold Cell Torture. He wrote that was being tortured in a cell with cold water and all that, like the mental state you get in when that kind of shit happens to you.
I wouldn't know.
Well, I wouldn't know either, but you try to put yourself in those situations when you're writing songs to think about
well, that was going to be apparently Mike is your songwriter, and that was gonna be one of my questions is, like what kind of state of mind do you put yourself in? Is it something that you just experience that you're feeling at that moment, so you just get in the moment and you go with what runs through your head, or do you have to put yourself in like that specific zen?
No,
drives you,
When I write a lot of the music, sometimes I'll go through like 100 riffs in a night, and then basically most of the time when it comes out, it's just that song that just comes out of nowhere. It's just basically, I'll go through a lot of riffs and then that one song just comes out and it's like, okay, well, that's the song, Right. And as far as writing the lyrics and stuff, it could just sometimes be about whatever, whatever just feels right when you.
I noticed on this album, the lyrics that I wrote, it was basically he had a song title already. He's like, I want it to be called Controlled by Silence. So I would go and I would like think, what does that mean, or whatever. And so I just tried to write something that would be just brutal and heavy, but with controlled by silence, So it's more like a mind control song where you're being controlled, by silence through the mind or whatever,
Right.
So I don't know. I just try to think a little, when I was younger, I was like, kill / terror, horror, stab, now I just try to make it a little more, little more to where people would understand where it's coming from.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to, be that way when it comes to the lyrics could be in a good positive way too. You just don't know, however it really comes out, you know.
Right.
But you know, we try to keep it on the death metal side. So
yeah, we're not singing about rainbows or anything.
yeah, nothing.
Rainbows and unicorns.
We definitely keep, you know, no matter how we venture off
yeah.
into different subjects or titles, we definitely try to keep that same Disinter feel, you know,
Right.
bring that darkness to it, you know.
Right. It's an awesome name. I love it. I think it's a great name. Definitely awesome. All right. So let's see. A couple of random questions. I don't know if I want to throw some fun ones at you yet. I'm going to wait.
Well, I got about 5 minutes and I got to get out of here. I got a show with another band that I'm playing with. I need to
Okay. All right. So, well, then I'll stick to the basics right now then. Okay. What is your favorite song that you guys have released and why?
What's your favorite song, Casey?
Actually, I like the one that we've released so far that I've recorded with them was a re-recording of Disinter. Their title song. It was on one of their like 91, 90 demo release. And I just thought it was really cool to go and like, cause it's got that old school obituary kind of feeling to it when it starts, then it gets thrashy, then it comes back to that, you know, and it's a really cool old school song that I really enjoyed, you know, going to the studio and recording.
Yeah, that was a fun, good song to bring back. I mean, that was like one of the first Disinter songs. Really.
That'll actually be available on the Demolition release from Pest Records in the next month or so.
And awesome. Born to Die, but we never re-recorded that one. But that's one song that I would definitely want to re-record. Born to Die. We actually talked about putting out Mike and I were talking about putting out a CD one day of all the songs that Preston wrote, and actually just putting it out and, you know, title it Preston or something to do with that, you know.
Right.
Basically all the songs that he pretty much wrote, and just put that out and just, you know, hand those out to everyone.
That's cool.
Which would be cool because Preston had a lot of friends and he, you know, to remember. Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check out that song because I'm just starting to get to know your music. So
actually,
there's a lot I got to catch up with.
I think if you go to the Disinter Bandcamp, I think it's available there, and everything on our Bandcamp is free to download. We don't charge anything, so you can go to the Bandcamp, download anything you want. I think there is a option where you can donate money, but it's not required. You can pretty much get a free download, which is, you know, if you can leave $1 or $2, you know, leave $1 or $2.
Bandcamp, YouTube, most of it's on YouTube.
Right.
There might be a couple of shows we did in Europe on YouTube when we played in Europe.
That's awesome. Wait, I'm trying to do something here. It's not working. All right.
We understand. You said you're winging it too, so you know.
I am because, you know, like I said, you know, there's a lot of things that I'm kind of formatting together in my head from being a co-host with other podcasts. I'm trying to make it all happen on one because there's some that are done on one page, some that are done on the other, and I'm trying to bring them together onto mine. So cool. I'm working that. So I appreciate you guys being tolerant of me. I'm just trying to figure it out. But so okay, what got you into music? Like, when did you start realizing that you wanted to be a musician, and what did you do to start heading that direction?
Well, I started playing when I was probably 10 years old. My whole family played music, so the drums, the guitar, the piano, everything was right there. So I pretty much locked myself in a basement and just played the instruments. And everyone said I was going to be a drummer, and I played drums in a couple bands. Actually, I was the first drummer for Gorgasm, and then started playing guitar, and then I played bass for Disinter for a long time. And then when Preston was out of the band, I took over guitar, and it's, you know, I never really had a route like which way I'm going to go when it comes to which instrument to play, you know. I mean, it's been a lot more guitar. There's so many awesome drummers out there today that just blow me out of the water. They're so fast. I look up to them. They're just really good drummers and with the stamina, you know.
Right.
John from Origin, phenomenal drummer. Flesh God Apocalypse. They're all, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had stamina to play like that, but I don't. So I stick with the guitar and, you know.
For me, I want to say being a musician probably came more from my mother. She was like this hippie lady, you know, and she was, you know, had all these Beatles and Woodstock albums and Jimi Hendrix, you know, and then like all this stuff, you know, on record, you know. And when we were little kids, we would sit there and just go through all our records and look at them, and you know, it was always kind of introduced to us that way. She would sing while she was cooking, you know, and it always just seemed kind of musical. And then I had an older sister, and she listened to like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, you know, Rush back in the early 80s. And so it always kind of went from that to that, you know, heavy metal. And then my older brother came home when I was in 5th grade with a cassette with Slayer on one side and Exodus on the other. And that pretty much ruined me for the rest of my life.
Same. When I heard
blood all over.
Do what?
But no, it's been fun jamming. You know, it's just what I've always wanted. You know, obviously we all have our own jobs and things we do. You know, but it was never just like a passing phase that, you know, this is just what I'm going to do for a couple of years. I've always wanted to just be up there screaming my head off. You know, just what I enjoy doing.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's the best way to get the rage out. So I'm jealous of all of you.
You sing about killing people. You sing about it. You don't actually go do it. You know, you're just up there letting it all go. You know, everything inside gets to come out, and then you go home and go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm definitely jealous. You get away with screaming. You know, if I grab a mic and I start screaming, my voice will just go, you know.
It's all in practice. Just practice.
All right. So, okay, let's turn this question around. If you weren't to be a musician, what do you think you'd be doing today?
Probably just building fences, to be honest. Fences and decks. I mean, that's what I do on the side every day. Even when we went to Europe and I was on tour, and they're like, "Oh, this must be awesome, man! You tour." I'm like, "Oh, really?" I mean, I'm a fence installer, iron worker at home. That's what I do. So, you know.
Well, that's good. So if you're ever on stage and you happen to, you know, I've seen and heard musicians where sometimes the floor isn't the greatest. All of a sudden their foot falls through. I've seen it and I've heard it happen. So you just be like, hold on, stop the song. I got this. Keep playing or something, you know, fix the floor.
Yeah.
You know, for me, even though I am a musician, I coach football for youth leagues. I coach baseball. Probably something that would still be something with children to entertain, to, you know, to see the little kids' faces light up when they do something right, or when they made a good play for you. I mean, it's really something that's awesome to do and to be involved with. So probably something with more in lawns of that. You know, I never went to college, so, you know, getting a degree and all that stuff really wasn't for me. But being able to be a part of it now is really awesome. You know, it's definitely a part of a highlight of, you know,
my playing adulthood. Sports for sure. I played a lot of sports when I was younger. Still do sometimes. Sherry and I went out playing basketball the other day. It was real fun.
But I do got to get out of here.
Okay.
It's been awesome talking with you.
Yeah, definitely. It was awesome.
We'll see you at the show on December. And
real quick before we cut out, before you guys get going, where can everyone look up information about you? Where can they find you?
Facebook. I know they got a Disinter website going. It's just
a Disinter website up now.
Another reason why Mike had all those songs reissued is because he's going to start getting them on streaming platforms. Okay. So you'll be able to listen to all Disinter on all streaming platforms everywhere. We're in the middle of doing all that, so just bear with us as we're all old too. We're trying to catch up with technology and all this shit, you know.
Well, you know what? We've been sticking around for 30 years. We're not going anywhere. We'll still be here when you're ready. So
that's awesome. All right.
Awesome. You guys, thank you so much. It was awesome to meet you and bring you in, and definitely look forward to checking out the new album.
Let's do this again sometime. We'll try to get the whole band involved. Maybe we'll play you a couple songs or something.
Yeah, you know what? If you can do a live studio set, which I definitely encourage. If you guys can all get in the studio and go live, I will air that on the Savage podcast. That would be killer. Maybe it's something we can set up. We can set up another date just before the release of the new album, and then we can do some questions on that.
Right. Cool.
That would be awesome. Again, thank you guys so much for taking the time out to come on to the set, ladies.
Thanks for everything. The 27th Brower House, December 3rd. December 4th. I'm sorry, December 4th. Siri reminds me. A lot of good bands playing. Beyond Death, Extraction Point. Be a great time.
Oh yeah, you guys again, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you play and hear some more music coming up this way.
Awesome.
All right, you guys take care. You guys have a good one. You take care.
You
Thanks.
too.
All right, peace out, guys.
Yeah, we're playing at 3:30.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in. And again, this is Fran the Savage with Savage Ladies in Metal. We'll see you next week on Sunday at 2 p.m., where I will bring in 413 and Straight Jacket Romance to discuss the Savage Ladies Christmas show, which is Krampus Christmas with the Savage Ladies. We got some cover band ladies front and center. It's going to be the women grabbing the mic. So tune in next week. Take care.